Welcome back to the Skirla's Wild Alaskan podcast. Now in video, I'm your host, Thomas Greenman, and with me, as always, I have my fabulous co host from Alabama,
And I'm the wild Jesse Dyson.
the Wild.
It's in the
Speaking of
name.
wild, what?
It's in the name of the podcast, so I want to be the
Oh,
wild.
yeah, you could be the Wild podcast. You could be the Wild Alaskan. I'm like the mediocre wild. Mild Alaskan. How about that?
Kent Clark,
Mild and
Alaska.
wild.
Kent Clark,
It's like
Alaska.
it's like wing hot sauce. You can have the mild, you can have the wild. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Alaskan Spring
Mud.
mud.
In general,
It's
mud. Gray mud. Not brown mud. Gray.
every time I hear about Alaskan Spring, I I think of the air freshener I've seen in stores that says it's like Febreze or something like that. It has Alaskan Spring and it's got like green mountain or green meadows and mountains and everything looks clean and nice and stuff like that. And it's like, no, Alaskan Spring is not like that. Alaskan Spring smells like dog poop. There's lots of garbage everywhere. Everything's dusty and dirty and gray. Nothing's green. it, it just looks horrible. And it smells. I would not want the smell in my house whatsoever. So to spray Alaskan Spring in somebody's house would be doing them a grave
It means you don't like
disservice.
them.
Yeah, I'm gonna make your house smell like Alaskan Spring. Why I oughta.
That's why you have the doggy poop retrieval services. That's all I had
Oh man,
in the magazine for it. You know, the pooper scooper or trooper scooper, I think they call it. So
there's just some parts of town that are just that bad. It's like any of
oh,
the parks. It's
it's
like
your
don't walk
backyard
there.
too. It's your backyard.
Not my
End of the year,
backyard.
you probably have cat stuff out there, maybe.
You know, that's the interesting thing about cats. Cats usually bury it. Like dogs,
Wow.
it's like, no, no, I'm going to leave
No.
this one unwrapped for you.
Well, we
Right
got
underneath the
moose in
tree.
ours. We got moose in ours, so yeah, we got a couple piles this year,
Oh,
back and front.
man.
He had to go.
Right out, right outside my bedroom window, because, like, we're kind of submerged. It's like a basement master bedroom. There's moose poop right outside my window. So I'm like, there's a moose that wandered right up to our house in the middle of winter and decided he was like, leave you a little present right
There's a
there.
good spot. There's a good spot.
Hope you enjoy it. I mean, the
Yeah,
good thing
we
about moose poop, it doesn't really stink, though. I mean, does it? I mean, I can't really smell it.
never went and tried the fresh stuff. You know, I go with all the dried stuff. You know, so no, I don't think it
Well,
does.
it's not like I get over there and I'm like,
Open your window. You could open your window after he did it. You know,
I, I have had my window open, but
right after he did it, though. I mean,
it's like that one time I went camping in
honey,
my
it's raining outside.
backyard. Remember that one time I was camping in my backyard and I was
Oh yeah.
like, what is this
Mm-hmm.
noise? And I
It's on the
turned on the
video.
security camera. He was peeing right in front of our tent.
Mm-hmm.
I hate moose sometimes.
Rain showers.
He's a moose, I swear. It's like, he's like, oh, I'm going to go to Thomas's house. I'm going to go leave him a little present.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, when did we have Fool Spring? And tell everybody what Fool Spring is about.
I have no idea what full spring is. I don't even have hope. I've lived here
Come
too long.
on.
I have hope no more for spring. It sort of went away. So
But you know what I'm talking about, Fool Spring. Like it's the first time everything warms up, things start melting, and
to
you're like,
40, it's when it gets to 40. Okay, when it gets to 40 for the first
yeah.
time, it gets 40, and it's not a Chinook wind. So it gets to 40. I guess really is it doesn't get below freezing at night. That's the main point for if we're talking about breakup, as we call it. You know, so breakup is when it stays above freezing, so it's constantly melting about one flake at a time. So if you
Yeah.
is the constant melting.
Yeah, it's been nice. I wouldn't say that we've had like consistent above freezing, but it's like been consistently above freezing most days now.
Till this week.
My driveway was clear up
Till this week.
until this
We should have
week. Yeah.
shoveled. If you would have shoveled the other day, it would be clear. It would have melted like ours.
You know, I heard at our life group the other day, and this is one of those Alaskan things. Like I've never heard anybody say this, and I was like, this is ingenious. But what they do is, when it gets to this time of year, they go and take the snow out of their yard and throw it in the driveway because it'll melt faster, and then
Oh,
that way
Rita does
they
that.
get they get snow out of their yard. And I was like, I had never heard anybody say that, and I was like, that's ingenious. Too bad I'm too lazy
My
to go
wife
ahead
does
and
that.
do that.
Yeah. We
I
get big
wouldn't do
piles of
it.
snow left. Oh, yeah. Wow, we do it. We'll throw it on a big pile left. You want to get rid of it, you just sort of scatter it in the yard. Just throw it and scatter in the yard where the sun hits anyway. It'll melt a lot faster. So
I mean, maybe if my kids like do a bad job of something or I need to punish them, then I'll save that in reserve and be like, I've just
you
been
have
waiting
kids. You
for
make
you
them do it
kids to do
anyway. Who
something bad.
cares? That's why you have kids.
Well, I don't really care about my yard. I mean, like I only get to see my yard like half of the year anyway. So like, what's another 3 or 4 weeks of not seeing it? It's like whatever. I don't care.
Make Julie do it.
It's funny though, like in my backyard, like the furniture and all the stuff that I left in my yard is starting to show up, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the fire pit.
Oh, yeah. We found a
There's my
kid's dump
rocking
truck.
chairs.
The dump truck showed up. Oh, there's a dump truck. The little kid's dump truck we had in the back.
Julie's bicycle showed up. I didn't realize she left it outside. I was like, hey, look, Julie's
Wow. You put your
bicycle.
bicycle outside in the wintertime? Really? Just like, it's called
I mean,
rust?
is it gonna rust? I mean, it's just frozen.
Will.
I mean, I guess if you let it sit out there and dry, I don't know. She doesn't really ride it, so it's not like I'm that concerned. I think that's the bicycle she won at a school raffle.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Sophia's bike, you mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently,
Oh,
Conan's got a bicycle, but nobody could remember getting him one, but somehow or another he has one.
yeah, where was what I have on here? How much snow we have left on the ground now? Let's see, where's the
Well, I saw
snow
this morning,
coverage?
like, we're 6 inches away from, like, the most, or tying the
Record, yeah.
record for
Yeah,
most
134 is the record.
snowfall.
We're at 128 right now. So, we're at
It's way too much
128.
snow. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
I
thought
think.
last year we had too much snow, but this year,
Oh, we didn't get 100
well,
last year. It's only 96 inches last year.
I know it was enough. It was too much.
Oh, we do have almost 14 hours of daylight on that part.
It's pretty nice. So, like, my watch, I can't really show it on the screen, but I've got a watch face that shows how much daylight we have, and
Oh
it's
yeah, the
like,
snow depth is 25 inches still. So yeah, so still have 2 feet of snow on the ground technically if you go by the official forecast of that. So
it's more than that in my front yard, right up on my porch.
well, that's on the shady side.
Yeah,
Depends where the sun hits. Yeah. So
yeah, it's still chest high, in my driveway.
oh yeah, yeah. I think our top of our fence still not showing by the driveway where we've shoveled it off of where it was at. So almost. We're gonna celebrate when it does. For a party, we can see our fence again.
I tell you what, I'm already preparing for camping. I don't know if we've talked about camping on this show or not. Maybe we have touched on it before, but it's like you would think, oh, we've got all this land in Alaska. There's so many places to camp and stuff like that. And to a certain degree, yeah, if you just park on the
There
side of
is.
the road
Yeah,
and
you can.
just walk off,
Jeffrey and they do it all the time. They drive up there, and there's
yeah,
places to drive on soft roads.
yeah, you could just walk off or whatever. But if you want to go to a real campsite, like it's too late. Like even right now, it's kind of too late to make a reservation for some campgrounds.
No,
It's like,
not the one we go to though. You always get a spot
oh
there.
no, no, not that one, but Kasugi Ken,
Yeah.
that nice new one.
Oh yeah, that's right on the highway
Yeah,
though. You're talking about right off
yeah,
the
you,
highway, and it has the best view of McKinley. Just of course. I mean,
yeah, it's like rented out like a year in advance.
they do have
It's like,
sites open where you just pull up though. They always have sites that you can get if you just pull up, take a chance, gamble on it.
I know,
It's
but
always our
that's like
4th of
what,
July weekend.
4 hour drive to check a chance on.
No, it's about 2.5 to get to that spot.
Is it
Talkeetna
two
is
and a
only
half?
99 miles. Yeah, it's 99 miles to the cutoff, and it's like 40
I
miles
thought it
past that.
was. I thought it was closer to the park than
Nope, it's 40
Talkeetna.
miles past the, maybe 30 miles past the Talkeetna cutoff.
Well,
South Overlook.
you're also making a time judgment based off of the fact that there's no construction. If you add all the construction into it, it's probably at least another hour.
Yeah.
Because I've sat and waited for 30 minutes
No.
waiting for cars to go past at one point in the
Depends
summer.
what year you're going, I guess, on that. So,
Yeah. It seems like it never ends, but I'm so looking forward to going camping this year. I can't wait, really. Like I'm gonna go when it's like still freezing. Like as soon as the snow is gone, like I'm gonna get in there with Conan. I'm not
well,
gonna take the
usually though,
girls.
yeah, you would have to go camp off the road because they usually don't open until a week before Memorial Day. The parks don't
What?
open. Yeah, they don't
Well,
open a week before Memorial Day, even if it
when's
melts.
Memorial Day?
End of May, last Sunday in May, whatever day that is.
Really that long?
Yeah, I mean it was open a week before because we went last year. I think a week before or something like that, or we seen
Hmm.
it was open. So yeah, it opens late because they don't have anybody to staff it. If you're going to the one that are staffed, they usually have to have a host there in the campground. So that's why.
I need to find a different one then.
Yeah, but you always go up there like going toward that cutoff or to the south cutoff. Go back to a mile and a half past it. They got 7 camp spots just right off the road. I've showed you pictures there before. It's just right off the
Mm.
road. You're camping right by the road, but you can walk out there. There's a trail back to get to the beautiful view of the mountain. I've done that before. A couple creeks back there. Biggest beaver dam I've ever seen back there. It's like, good Lord, it was huge. But yeah, there's 7 spots and they're not reserved. Nobody's going to park there because it's not RV parking. It's camping. So we've always had
I've
fun
thought
going
about
there.
going down to Portage area. Like there's those campgrounds down in that area.
Yeah,
Um,
there's places beside there. I don't think you have to reserve those either. You don't,
I don't
because
think so either.
yeah, Colton and them used to go down there. We had a little, our life group we had. We'd go down there and just camp always have it off the road back down there, and they'd be camping down there. So yeah, you don't have to. You just show up there.
It's not your life group anymore. It's my life group.
No,
You left.
they moved days. Not my fault. You know,
So
that was
I
back when we had fun.
yeah. So I've got I've got an infographic. I've got a meme that talks about 11 seasons. And this
I
came
think I
out like
posted that today.
whenever it first melted. So you've got winter, which to me, if you ask me, I think that we've got winter and summer. That's the way I see it. But this one says winter, full spring, second winter, spring of deception, third winter, mud season, actual spring, summer, false fall, second summer, actual fall, and then it starts all the way over again. So it's like winter is like 6 months, and then everything else is whatever we have left, which is really summer, I guess. I'm like,
Yeah, so it depends
there's
where
no.
you at. My sister in Alabama set the 4 seasons today. She sent me this today. Is like a pollen season, tornado season, football season, summer.
Yeah,
So
I agree with
that's the
that.
South.
My eyes were itching today. Yeah, whenever there's no snow and ice in my truck, usually I'll roll down some of the windows and turn the heater up. And I just like doing that, but like my eyes were itching and I'm like, allergy season's here again.
As far as breakup goes, this is the first year that, if you look at my backyard, it is the dirtiest I've ever seen it. Dear, seriously, it's like there's a whole pile of hay. It's like hay, straw. Where did it come from? Unless the big wind blew it over, we have any idea. And there's patches of our backyard that is just black. It's like, what happened? It's like the volcano went off. I mean, I don't think it did. I mean, it's like the volcano went off and settled, but it's the weirdest thing ever. We've never seen our yard this dirty as far as,
Maybe it was the windstorms that we had.
that's the only thing I could figure out is that it was really, really weird. Put it that way. So,
So this year we've had, how many windstorms have we had? Like at least two or three?
all 3 at least. Yeah.
And we've lost power. I lost power. I don't know
No,
about
no,
you,
you
but
lost power.
yeah,
we
I
we
lost
haven't lost
power
power.
at least. I think it's I think it's at least twice, if not three times.
That's twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, twice. Well, three. Well, twice all day, and then one is shortish
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It
yesterday
just
or
happened
whatever.
again the other day.
Couple
And
hours off.
I
Yeah.
I think I showed you the picture, but I swear it was the same house that
You
had a
told me
tree
you
go
showed me a picture,
down.
but yeah.
Like I'm like looking down the street, I'm like, that's the same place that they had to fix last time that we were out all day. I'm like, Ugh. it's like it's like what are these people doing with their trees in their yard? Um,
Yeah, if you missed an episode, is like he has power poles. I don't. All ours are underground, my side of town. His wires doesn't go out.
some of our stuff is underground, some of it's not. Maybe they just got lazy
Uh,
when they got to our neighborhood and they just like, yeah, they can live with it. Growing up in the South, like if the power went out, it was like you just didn't want it to be a hot summer because it usually only went out in the summertime, like a hurricane or somewhere in that time frame, and it was like,
thunderstorm.
oh, it's going to be hot, and it's like
Thunderstorm. Take the power out
there's
usually.
no air conditioning. Um, but here it's like it's usually in the wintertime, and that poses its own unique set of problems because
It was spring, technically. Fall,
full
spring, or second
spring.
spring. Second spring, I think is when the power went out. So
I mean, it was still cold, like I got a heater buddy. I think that's the reason why, like, I feel like I'm ready to go camping because, like, I camped in my house during all these power outages. I'm like, I can survive in a cold environment. Now it's like I got a buddy heater. I've got now that next to the last power outage, I've got one of those power cell things where I can charge devices and run a coffee maker. And by the way, today I've got a little mini Keurig coming in. That puppy's gonna. Well, should I bring them camping with me? Because I
I'm
use
not
the
gonna say
French
it.
press a lot.
I do instant coffee, but I don't care. That's because what camping's about. I'm sorry. It's
Part of
about
me thinks that I could just take my Keurig with me and just plug it up to that power. That's I think I'm gonna
just
try
put it
that.
in your truck as far as that goes. Give me a
Well,
break.
that's what I'm saying. I'll just plug it right up. I mean, or I can
While you're
plug it
getting
in the
into the
truck.
glamping area here, okay, so if you go, let's not cross over
To
to where
me,
Lynn is.
it's like fighting or anything else. It's like who wins. There's no fighting fair. You're out to win. And like camping to me is like who's gonna win. It's like that time we had that fire. Or we needed a fire and it was raining and everything was wet and I pulled up that road flare. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
would have pulled
win
it out
this.
anyway. If it had been dry, you would have pulled it out. Come on, really?
Well, I mean, I did get a whole bunch of road flares and I wanted
The
to
guy
use
who
them.
said was in the Boy Scouts. He just forgot everything he ever learned. Just
I
like,
didn't forget any
flare.
of it. I didn't forget any of it. I just like I'm not going to spend an hour trying to make fire in wet conditions. I'm like I'm prepared. Road flare, and it worked. Saved
Speaking
us a
of
lot of time.
road, so you're behind a car in the springtime, and I was really trying to guess the color because
Oh yeah.
they're gray. The cars are great. I mean, it was dark red, but you couldn't tell it was gray until it turns and you see a splash of color on it. So, the police. I can see the police officers. We're in a chase. We're chasing a gray car. Well, they're all gray. Can
Right.
you be more? I can't see the tag. That's because mud's covering it up. So it's like so. If you're a
Unknown
criminal, you have an
unknown color
advantage.
Subaru.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that would cover anything around here.
Yeah, and basically you could say
Or a pickup
Subaru
truck. Or pickup truck.
or Ford F-150. That's like what half of the cars or vehicles in Alaska. Ford F-150, Subaru, something. It's a Forester or an Outback, one or the other.
Kias.
You see some Kias, some, but yeah, Subaru everywhere.
Jeep. Yeah.
You know, I watch TikTok. I'm not
I'm
exactly
sorry.
proud of it, but I'm not exactly ashamed of it per
Oh,
se.
you're not
But like,
ashamed of it. You watch it all the time. You're always sending me stuff. You're not that ashamed.
well, I mean, it is entertaining, but I watch some of the auto mechanics stuff, and it's silly, but like this auto mechanic just points his finger at a car, and he's like, "Very good," or And the Subarus always get like the very, very good, and then the Jeeps always get the or very, very bad.
Really? Oh, Jeep's pretty popular around here. Jeeps are so.
You know, admittedly, they're popular. I drove a Jeep when I was in Florida recently on vacation, and
No, yeah.
I liked it. But apparently, well, I could tell you flat out, it got horrible gas mileage, and that's usually what people tell me. Like, like this thing just drinks gas. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm like, mm. So I mean, yeah, I had a thought the other day. I was like, I'm a Honda diehard guy. I'm like, I'm Honda this, Honda that. I love Honda, Honda, Honda. At some point the other day, I was thinking, I was like, maybe I might actually get a Ford truck at some point. Maybe. Not, don't pass out on me all at once. But I thought about it. I'm like, like I keep vehicles for a long time unless I need to. I feel like I want to get a new one and I get rid of one. But at this point, I've got kids. I'm not going to get rid of any vehicles
Your
anytime
your wife
soon.
needs a new one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah. So just saying, just a plug for your Julie.
I've been trying to get her a new one. She doesn't want one. Her thought of having a car payment after not having a payment, and
Oh yeah,
realistically, I'm
yeah.
the one that pays the bills, so I don't know why she cares that much. But she's like, she feels the same way about paying taxes as she does getting a new car payment. She feels like somebody's stealing from her. Like she
Yeah,
just
it's been
hates it.
nice since you didn't have one for a while. Then you have one all of a sudden. Like, okay, whatever.
It it is true. Like we haven't had like we all our vehicles are paid off, so we've been really blessed in that regards. But um, like the time has just come. Like her car's what? It's almost as old as Sophia, so it's almost like 14 years old. Like it doesn't have any of the new safety features or anything like that. Like the radar detection and all that stuff. So that's all I get concerned about. But now that Sophia's a teenager and she's got friends, what do you need? You need the big, super ultra,
Again, you
gasoline.
don't need the lane detectors in here, Spring, because there's no lanes.
Well, that's true.
You forget that it's all mud, so
They don't.
the
It
lanes
only
it's not
works half the
snow.
year.
Snow covers it, and then lane detectors work, and then the lines aren't painted. Okay, the lines are worn off from the salt and from the gravel and all that, so you have no painted lines till about June into June. Maybe you have painted lines, so you have July and August. So you get
Yeah,
two and a half
it's
months
true.
of painted
You've only
lines,
got it
maybe.
for like about a couple months
So
a year.
yeah,
That's
so
true.
it's like
The radar detection is good, but you and me, we've driven down to Kenai and Soldotna, and like mine keeps going off. It's like brake, brake,
oh yeah,
just because all the turns and it's seeing the other lane as an incoming car, and it's like,
oh yeah. Well, your truck is just paranoid of other cars. Mine doesn't do that. If you have a car within, I don't know, 25 feet of you, it panics. So,
hey, I'd rather be paranoid than get hit. I'm glad it's self aware in that way. Don't hit me. Speaking of which, it's almost time for me to get my windshield broken again. It usually
yeah,
happens every spring.
yeah, yeah.
And so tell everybody why that is.
Mine got replaced. I got a little chip out, just tiniest chip forever. Right when I got mine replaced, of course, you know what I mean. Right after that, but I mean, you can't even see it or windshield really hard, So,
So tell everybody
oh no,
why
it's a year
why it
round.
happens.
There's no season for that. There's gravel on the road
Well,
all year round.
but it tends to happen more often in spring because you've got so much gravel left over from winter because people are throwing it out all winter long, and then everything
Yeah,
melts and you've got gravel everywhere.
yeah, it's all gravel. Our parking lot will be a half an inch of gravel from where they put rocks on it. How it work
Well,
here?
at some point they'll come and sweep it, but it'll
Yep,
probably be another month.
June. Again,
Yeah,
June. June's a month they do everything.
yeah,
Don't do
and
anything in
then
May.
then you might as well just throw it right back out there. It's like, oh, in
Yeah.
2 more months we're gonna have snow and ice, and so you just might as well throw it back out there. Speaking of gravel, though, like this is the time of year where I feel like I can walk normal again. Like normally in the winter, I'm walking like the penguin, or I'm doing these crazy walks across the parking lot because I don't want to slip,
Have your shoulder
fall, and
repaired and try
kill my.
walking, being paranoid of falling and hurting your shoulder. So try that.
Oh
I'll let you
yeah,
try that one year. So yes,
no, I don't
even
want
in
to
the
try that
gravel, I'm
one.
still a little paranoid. So
I'm gonna pass on that one. Although, so Jesse got his. You got your. You didn't get your knee replaced. You got a tune up.
scope, yeah.
You had some
They
stuff cleaned out.
they
You got the
shaved
gravel
me.
taken.
They
You
shaved
got the
me.
gravel taken out of your knee because you
A
had some
shave and a
gravel on
haircut,
there,
basically, is what it was. So,
and then you had your shoulder replaced. Or what did they do
oh
again?
yeah.
Did they
Oh, they
take out your
replaced
bone
it.
socket, and
Yeah.
then they
Mm-hmm.
cut some
Reversed it.
muscle out and then did
No,
something?
they just reversed it. Yeah, they cut the muscle for the
But you've
uh,
got like a muscle attached somewhere that you didn't have it before, or something.
no,
There was something to do with.
it just uses your bicep or whatever deltoid to raise your
Oh,
arm up instead of your uh, oh rotator cuff. Don't use the rotator cuff muscle anymore. So that part's
so
fine.
he
So
so he's had major work, and I kid you not, like I've been sleeping weird for the past couple of weeks, and so like my left arm's been hurting me. Is it your left arm or your right arm?
his left, and then his knees
So
bothered
my
him
left
too. All
arm's
of a
been
sudden,
hurting on me.
and all of a sudden his knees bothering him too, and Julie's knees bothered him. I mean, it's like really.
No, well, here's what happened. So I was at home. I just replaced some strings on my guitar, and my daughter had
Oh
left
yeah,
her
that's
guitar
true.
on the couch plugged in, and I had my glasses on, and like normally I just use them for reading, or like I just I don't walk around with glasses. My glasses aren't for walking around. And I had them on, and I didn't see that cord, and I tripped, and I was in between the couch and our coffee table, and I had nowhere to go but straight down, and I couldn't
Oh,
stop
you can edit
myself or
this, but
whatever.
your video's pausing, so it's lagging for the last
That's
30 seconds.
it's all recorded locally, and it gets uploaded to the cloud.
Oh, I thought it was lagging when it recorded, so I didn't know. So you were just
No,
pausing. So okay,
even if it seems like it's lagging, it's not.
okay, sorry. So
That's
okay,
okay.
back to the guitar screen falling. Oh, I always like that story. It makes me laugh.
So anyway, I've the only thing I've got to do is like I've just got to fall and roll forward, and that's basically what I did. It's like I just landed on one knee somehow. I don't know. I was like you're supposed to fall into the fall and roll and stuff like that, and I kind of sort of did that, but I landed on my knee like directly on the hardwood floor, like all at one point. It was almost like doing like the knee slam in like
Did Sophia
professional
laugh though?
wrestling.
That's what I want to know.
She didn't see it happen.
Oh darn!
She just
Should
heard
have kept
it,
the
and then
camera footage for that.
it's too late now. It's been 10 days.
It's been 10 days. Darn, that would have been fun to have that.
But it was like one of the professional wrestling moves, like when they jump off the ring, the top ropes, and
Oh
like do a
yeah,
knee thing on whatever.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except it was just me, and I didn't hit anything except for the floor.
So
I
that's
just
why
roll
grabbing you.
over.
Yeah.
I think Sophia comes over and looks at me, and I'm like, just give me a minute. I was like, put that guitar up.
Yeah.
I'm sure I wasn't laughing when I said all that though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think I've slipped and fallen on the ice recently. I
No.
don't know if I did this year. I've come close a couple times, but
Yeah,
luckily I didn't.
I've lived here too long. I've learned how to walk on it. So you just don't pick your feet up. Seriously. If you learn, you walk like a penguin. You learn how to do that. So, yeah, I haven't fallen in a long time because
You know, I
very
I
annoying.
don't understand how like people talk about like the police. They were chasing a suspect downtown, and it happens in the wintertime. I'm like, who is this person? I was like, don't send him to jail. Don't send him to prison. Send him out to like some life center where this guy shows you how to not only walk on ice and snow, but you can run on ice and snow. It's like this guy needs to give lessons. He needs to be a coach. Like, don't fall down and get hurt. This is the way. Whenever I ran from the
You run
cops,
in the
this is the
snowbank.
techniques I used.
You stay on the edge of the snow is what you do. Like walking to the mailbox. You get on the snow. You don't walk in the driveway. So you walk on the snow. That's why. get more traction that
Yeah,
way.
it's like if it's shiny, don't walk on it. If it's kind of cloudy-ish or whatever, that's usually pretty good. But yeah,
if you're
shiny
coning,
stuff is
if you're
not good.
coning, do it with a tool in your hand.
Oh man, his scars healed up pretty well.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
haven't listened to some of the previous episodes, it was earlier in the wintertime. He was playing around with one of these electric snow shovels, and he fell down the driveway, and some ice just cut open his chin, bleeding all over the place.
Then took a suture out by himself.
Yeah, yeah. A few days into it, he was like, he was bothering me. I
Yeah.
was like, it's just like, I tell you what, there's not too many times that I've told Julie to like calm down and leave the room.
Yeah.
Like usually, I feel like that's more apropos for her to tell me that. And I'm not saying like I get to that point that often, but usually I'll just kind of walk away on my own recognizance. But for her, like she just wasn't having it, and she didn't want to leave, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get burnt to save the whole house from getting burned down. I'm like, this is gonna hurt me way more than it's gonna hurt you, Conan. I'm like, I'm like, go, grumble, grumble, jabs, verbal jabs. She left. I was like,
So back to spring, we do have the big puddles too because the drains are not frozen. This year they've been
oh
seeing
yeah.
pretty good. Okay, they haven't been too bad. They've kept the drains open, but you get these big puddles when it's get a good warm day. And I'll
Did you
let you
hear
know
about
about
what happened to
Asher.
Asher?
Yeah, I'll
Oh
let you
yeah.
explain that one. He
Go.
told you better probably. So
So he's telling me he's walking down the road, and he's walking next to some guy, and I was like, did you know the guy? He's like, no. I was like, well, that's peculiar. But it's happened up in front of our offices. There's not that many people that walk around up here. But anyway, I guess some guy came whizzing by and pulled into the water and just sprayed him and this other guy, and they were both looking at each other like,
soaked them.
There was probably some
He did
choice
it on
words that
purpose.
they had to say. But yeah,
Driver
like
got
there's
it.
some people that obviously do it on purpose. Like, on C Street over here. So I mean, most people probably listen to this, you may or may not know what the roads are like in Anchorage, but the roads are pretty wide, like because, there's a lot of ice and snow that kind of get caught up in the side, so you kind of have very narrow lanes in the wintertime just because the road crews can't or won't take care of it. Yeah, that's a big political debate. But you've got these wide lanes most of the year whenever the snow and ice is gone. And here on C Street, like there's all this water that gathers right on one side of the road. And so you've got these guys that are in trucks, and they've got this. You can almost have two cars in one lane, almost. Maybe not quite, but almost. And you'll be driving along, and then they will drift over into the wet area of the road and just blow up dirt and water all over your vehicle. And I swear they do it on purpose sometimes. It makes me so mad. It's like I just slow down, and then you see them slow down, and it's like,
Back in the day, we had local DJs. I don't know if we have any local ones anymore. Maybe I heard we did. Maybe the country station has one. But back in the day, with the
wait a minute, do
rock
we
and
still have
roll,
radio stations?
yeah, the rock and roll. Yes, I have in my car. So sorry. So yes,
You listen to the radio? Like the
yes,
real
I do.
radio?
Yes, real radio. So
How old are
anyway,
you? That
they
explains
had
it.
one DJ got out there in a rain suit by the biggest puddle and let people come by and splash them. That was the thing. They just sit there and just let them go by and just splash them. So they go by and just cover. And this water is not clear, nice pool water. No.
No.
I don't care if you got something on. It's like pure, yeah, gross.
I think before I would even attempt to do anything like that, I would go get all my shots that I would need to go to a third world country. Be like, go ahead and give me all those shots. Like I'm gonna need them. Who knows what's gonna be in that water? I mean, like dog poop, you know, needles, toxic waste. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I might get superpowers out of it. I'd be like the Toxic Avenger. come out even greener than I already am.
I say more like Sandman instead of the Mudman. I see more
The mud man.
Mudman. It's
That
like
would be
Sandman.
gross.
I think they had something like that. I can't remember what. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had something like it. I had to go back and look it up in the cartoon, the Saturday morning cartoons. That was like on the Batman shows or one of those cartoons. It was like a I don't know Bob guy. I don't know. I can't think of
You
the
know
name of it.
that almost makes me wonder if we had Alaskan superheroes, what would they be? I mean, here's what I can tell you. One of them would ride a moose or have a pet moose. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Like they'd have one. Like super Alaskan man. I don't know. Like he'd have a moose or like Moose Man. Would he be like Batman and like the moose signal? What would the moose signal be? Like a bunch of moose poop dropping into your yard? Just brrr. Somebody's in need.
All right, sorry, I had to look up to see if I could find the Bud Band. I'll
I
find it
could
later
I
for a
I
future
could tell you
podcast. I
this:
know.
if there was a superhero from Alaska, um, and he didn't want people to know who like his alternative identity or whatever, he would straight up be wearing Carhartts, uh, 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 oh, what's the black hoodie that everybody wears? I apparently haven't
Salty
had enough
Dog.
coffee. Salty Dog
Salty
Saloon.
Dog. Hmm.
He'd be wearing like some brown
A
Carhartts or
beanie. Some kind of beanie, though. He had to have a
yeah, and a
beanie, too.
beanie and a
Yeah.
beanie.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be his secret identity.
And be
It'd
smoking
be
pot.
like
Sorry.
smoking pot.
You're Alaskan. I mean, it's like, hello.
I tell you what, there's been so many times recently where like I don't know what they were doing. Like if they were trying to like if they just had like some kind of machine that was just like a fog machine blowing dope out of the side of the window of their truck, but it seemed like you could just smell it all the way down the road. It was
Oh,
like
no,
worse
you
than
can smell
Cheech
it
and
behind you. I
Chong.
mean, oh, yeah. It's like there's a couple times you get behind it's like, holy crap. Yeah, just like, it's a delivery service. I don't know. So,
I mean, what delivery service would be burning? Or is it like pizza? I mean, like I'm going to deliver pizza, but I want
I'm
you to
sure they put
smell
it
the
on
pizza
pizza.
before it
You know,
shows up.
think about it.
No,
I'm
I
sure they
mean,
put it
I'm
on
just
pizza.
thinking like is it like the ice cream man? Like where like you hear the music and you're like, I want ice cream. Do you smell the dope and you're like, I want dope. I'm going to pull
Maybe
this
you
guy
want you to
over
follow him.
and
Maybe they want you to follow him. He's going back to one of the shops, local shops. Or he could
I
work
mean,
at one of the he could work at the growing places in town and just you working the garbage dump. You smell like that all day. You work in those places. That's what you smell like all day. That's what it comes down to. You're working in that.
I hate to show how ignorant I was when I was growing up, but apparently I didn't know what real marijuana smelled like. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't
Oh, we didn't have it in
experiment
North
with some
Alabama. I
things
tell
in
you that.
college, but like in college, whenever I was partaking, it smelled different. And then
Yeah.
um, I was at a friend of mine's wedding, and there was a bunch of us all in this house, and this is gonna sound gross. But anyway, I went into the bathroom after somebody had been in there, and I was like, this person needs to go to a doctor immediately. This smells horrible in here. I was like, that is the grossest, nastiest after
Yep.
effects. Like where's the fan? Where's the air freshener or whatever? And it was so ingrained in my mind. Like the first time I just thought like people had sewer issues, like a septic tank. Like I was that ignorant. I was like, man, somebody's septic tank is having problems. They need to call somebody. And then it was like later on, it was actually here at Skirla's whenever we ended up doing some point of sale work with some of the companies that were getting cannabis once it got legalized. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a poop smell.
Nope.
That's actually a marijuana smell. And I was like, why would you think that smells good?
Mm-hmm. If you had enough, I guess you'd. Anyway.
To me, it's almost like it just smells horrible. Um, so in your neighborhood where I
It's
used
got
to
a
live,
distinct smell. Yeah.
oh yeah, well I think when they call it skunk or something like that, it's like,
Yep, skunk weed.
ugh. But my neighbor, she was a wonderful old lady. I think you know who I'm talking about. That was right next door to where we used to live.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it was her or her son who would come over, but every once in a while you'd smell that, and I just thought they had a septic tank issue until it got to
Oh
that
yeah,
point. And I was like,
our neighbors,
I
yeah,
was like,
you get that.
oh,
You get a downdraft of that. Gary will be over there. Yeah, we have that in our area.
yeah, the smells of Alaska. Ugh. You know, admittedly though, I mean during spring and summer we do get some pretty fragrant smells. It's nothing like Hawaii though. It's like you get off the plane in Hawaii, like the first time, like I was I was flabbergasted. I was like, I really thought that people were spraying something, and I was like, that's the smell of whatever that flower is. I can't remember what
Oh,
it is. Um, anyway,
yeah. I think when we went
it
down, all
was
the flowers are
amazing.
blooming that much when we go there. We went where the flowers are blooming that much. So.
Speaking of time of year, it is that time of year again where Alaskans start trying to figure out vacations and stuff like that, and you've already got your vacation figured out for
No, I'm smart. I do it ahead of
later.
time.
You know, I tried to figure out something, and it just seemed like it just nothing was working out according to
Oh,
my
and you didn't
plan.
look at
So
plane
I,
flights. You were just trying to get the place ready. You didn't try to get a flight.
well,
That wasn't the hard part. You were doing the easy part. Hard part was getting a plane flight in the middle of summer. You know,
well, it's not too bad.
even though they say there's only three left, and there's not, which is the lie by the airline. We'll do a podcast on that by itself. So,
yeah, I think this year we're just going to stay at home and maybe fly somewhere locally. We're not going to go to Florida or Alabama this year, or at least not for personal stuff. You know,
yeah,
for business, we'll end up somewhere in Florida, I'm sure. But um, yeah,
I don't know if we
um,
are this year or not. To be honest with you, yeah, I
yeah,
don't
we
think
are
we are.
Bartek.
Oh, you're gonna go too? I didn't know both of us are gonna go. I'm not sure who's gonna go to
Oh,
Bartek. So,
oh, I don't know. You could go by yourself. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll get some more information on it. But
yeah.
yeah, I hate flying to Florida. it's it just for some reason like it's just like this is gonna just take too long.
Yeah,
It's
unless you
not
get the
gonna be
straight shot to Orlando, which
worth
they
it.
don't offer in the wintertime anyway, so,
It's just it's an like yeah, like flying to Seattle 3.5 hours, like that's my idea of like reasonable flight time. But anything more than 3.5 hours, I'm like, well, actually, I take it back. If it's less than six, or if it's around six or less, it's like to me like that's pretty good. You know,
it's Atlanta, basically, so, Seattle, Atlanta.
I
Used to
tell
be
you what
Minnesota
though,
back in the good old days.
back in the good old days, Alaska
Northwest
Airlines used
Airline.
to have used to not have problems. Now we got doors falling off. Did you see the article about the flooding that happened in the
Oh,
bathroom?
yeah, I don't even bother, because it's probably happened before, nobody reported, just because of the way it was back then. Now it'd be reported if you know, if something falls off the shelf in the back, they'd be panicking, just something, I don't know. Just, yeah.
I did see the video, and there was like a current of water going down the aisle, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's that's not supposed to happen. They were over
Yeah.
there trying to mop it up, and it was still coming out, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you look at the number of
hmm.
flights, though. If we go to number of flights compared to number of incidents, like really,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
just like they
It,
just
it
blow
just
it
seems
out of
like
proportion.
it just seems like Alaska Airlines hasn't
Best news
had the
media.
best run of luck. Oh, and did you see the one program where like you pay a monthly fee just to be able to
Oh,
get
get your
access
Wi-Fi.
to their better deals?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Oh, you
Well,
get the
they only
Wi-Fi
give
too, though.
you
If you
well, you
fly a
only
lot,
get
it's a good.
one. You only get one Wi-Fi pass a month, though. So
Oh,
it
only one. You
does.
don't get it every time, every flight.
Yeah, not every time. Yeah, no,
Oh, I thought you got it every flight.
no.
Oh well.
Um, yeah, there's it's yeah. At first, I was like, yeah, that probably is a good thing to do. And then I was like reading on. I was like, wait a minute.
Just one? Oh yeah, if that's only once a month, hell yeah, that would. It's
Yeah,
only eight
you
dollars
would
for that
think that
pack.
it.
Yeah,
You'd think
I'd have
like
to
it
read
would.
it. I didn't read it because I don't fly that much. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're even if you're flying every day, I mean, what would like you get one free pass a month? Woohoo!
Yeah, I didn't know. I had to reread that. Wow, that's a ripoff. Just pretty much.
Yeah, I looked at the what is the Alaska subreddit, and people were like, "What's the
Oh
point
yeah.
of this?" And it's like, we just need more money. And it's like, yeah, maybe. I mean, I still will say, I mean, Alaska's still the best airline that I've flown on. You know, it's like not to turn this into some kind of contest about airlines, but it does seem like they take care of you, and they do a pretty good job of it. Um, so I don't know. I would prefer to fly Alaska wherever I go, but that's just me. It's like some of the other airlines have, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Because they're not around here, we wouldn't have any others.
Yeah,
Say United.
it's odd. I mean, I feel like Alaskans understand Alaskans where other people just don't understand Alaskans. It's kind of like this podcast. We're like we are kind of well, I was gonna say we are kind of in the United States. Yeah, we're technically in the United States, but in a lot of ways we're like Alaskans first, Americans second, in some ways.
Yeah, I can think of who else gets a later breakup than us. So I just is watching stuff. It's all green grass down there now. I was like, oh, okay, must be nice. I think
I
Jeffrey
saw
was
some
down there,
grass.
Seattle. She's out of Portland. They're down in Portland, and Portland's like, oh, there's flowers and trees out. Like, yeah, okay, that's nice. Not
Yeah,
here.
that's got to be nice. It's like spring break. I was reading about spring break. I'm like, man, I can remember whenever I went on spring break when I was in high school, and
Oh man, it's
you
still
could
cold.
actually go to the beach.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. We went down there for our class trip, and it's freezing cold. And throwing in people in the water just because it's cold. It was freezing when we went down there. So, yeah, it was.
I guess that's the benefit of that area. It's like it may be cold, it may be hot. You never can tell.
It was cold.
Yeah, usually if it's not 80 degrees, then the water is not going to be good.
Yeah,
It's just too
yeah,
cold. Except for us, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees. Our water's still cold, too cold.
yeah. Not for kids.
I don't know. I've tried to put my kids in some of that water. I didn't like it. Like I went up to Hatcher's Pass one year and it was hot. I mean, it was so hot, and I'm like, we're gonna stop over here and what take my flip flops off, and we're just gonna jump in the water a little bit, knee high or whatever. I was like, I will never do that again. It was like my legs are numb. I'm like,
I've been
no.
swimming out there. I've been swimming out there, lake out there.
Oh, this isn't the lake.
South
This is like
Raleigh. I've been out there.
whatever the creek was or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, creek. Yeah, if you get a river, yeah. No.
Yeah, that was way too cold. Well, what else we got else for this podcast? I don't know if we've got anything else.
No, I got dirty cars, sidewalk, mud puddles, trash. Now, our neighborhood's always clean because my wife picks it up constantly, so she can't stand trash. So our neighborhood will be clean. So if you want a clean neighborhood, come over to ours. She'll be out there
She
with the
didn't clean
grandkids.
the parking lot of the Hideaway Club, though.
Huh? They're actually working on that. Yeah, I told you somebody brought it out, so they've got a dumpster out there here recently, but they sort of
Huh.
take their time on it, I think. So somebody brought it out. Whether it be
Maybe
open
they
up
could
again
fit
or
one of
not, I'm
those
not sure.
cars in that dumpster.
Oh, those cars been gone for a while. Yeah, I guess whoever brought it
Uh,
out had them towed off, is my guess. So they even have it. They even plowed the lot, kept snow off of it. So
hmm.
first half. So yeah, do something with
Better than my neighborhood.
it.
Uh,
Yeah, the
all right.
shootings.
Well, from Alaska,
The gang shooting of their neighborhood. So anyway, so
gang shooting. I didn't think it was. My neighborhood's not that bad, but apparently
one
there are
house,
some.
this house.
Apparently there are some things that go on there. It's like the one house on my street where, for some reason, like there's always a large cop presence, like once a month. And I don't know. Maybe they just have cop parties there or something. Like I don't know, but like I was looking at that house, and I was like, it's like, hey, they got a new roof. It's like metal roof. I'm like, I was like, how can they afford that? Getting these bills from APD. It's like maybe they train there. That's it. They create a scenario and then the cops can come and train at their house or something like that.
Hostage situation.
Situation. I don't know.
No, I guess even SWAT team out there, just cop car, just SWAT team. So maybe.
They're. I don't know. I mean, sometimes APD will respond with one car, and then sometimes it's like 5 cars. It's like that one lady that sideswiped the cop car, and there was like 4 or 5 cops there, like
it's
cop
because they went
cars.
to
There was
laugh at
more
the guy
than.
that got hit. They went to laugh at the guy that got hit.
Oh, I'm sure they did. They probably like. But like it used to be like there were certain neighborhoods that kind of were like, oh, you don't want to move to those neighborhoods in Anchorage, and now it seems like everybody's sharing the wealth when it comes
well,
to
that's I don't know.
the
You still don't
properties.
live anywhere with the word view in it.
That's true. I've looked it
Fair
up.
view, Mount View.
It shows up in the Anchorage subreddit quite a bit. Like, hey, I just moved into
No,
to
technically
Anchorage.
we have golden view, so I can't say it's all bad views. So I had agree
Yeah,
that. So golden views,
but
the hillside.
it's better than average chance that if it's got a view in it, then maybe not so good.
Yeah, we've always had
View's
drug
not as
dealers.
good.
Pretty much, one of our detectives that used to be a detective at our church, she was saying that, yeah, she had a drug dealer that lives on her street. What could she do about it? She couldn't really do anything because you can't prove it. So we have one on our street. They moved finally, thank goodness. So we've been good. So they moved.
Yeah, I don't know if we've had any drug dealers on our street that I can tell.
Was that the police presence? I would say
I mean, outside
that
of that
monthly
one
visit.
house, outside of that one house, I mean, it seems like it's a pretty quiet
Yeah,
neighborhood.
you only get one
But
house. So.
but the interesting thing is that they never show up to that house with their lights and sirens on. It's like they all pull up, all the lights and sirens are off, and they're out in the road, and it's just like, what is going on? Like I've wanted to go out and ask.
Yeah, you go
I
ask them one
should.
day. It won't hurt.
I should, but whenever there's like that larger presence, I don't want to like get mixed up or involved in any of it. It's like, do I really care that much? I mean, it's a way of life in Anchorage. It's like what they say, Los Anchorage. It's kind of that way.
Well, we'll have a snow report the next podcast. At 2 feet now, we'll see. I don't know.
I tell you what, the next podcast there better be no snow on the ground.
Yeah. I very much doubt that. So.
Well, we're supposed to do this every 4 weeks or so, like once a month, technically. So
It depends. I mean, we're 6 inches away from the record, so I just don't see it. I guarantee you there'll be snow in my front yard. There's no
first
way.
week of May?
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily first week of May.
Well, it's not to say that I can't continue to hope and pray that.
Unless you have sunny days of 40 plus. Sunny days. But I don't, if we've had clouds and rain and snow and clouds, it's not going to melt until we get that. So
maybe I'll punish the kids and make them shovel snow into the driveway.
Into the driveway. There we go. I think you should.
I'll be like, I should use that as a motivator instead of just springing it on them. I just tell them like, look, if you don't do this, I'm gonna have you do this. What would you rather do? And see if that motivates them. It could motivate them.
Good warm day and melt right when you threw it out there. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
we'll be doing
All
that
right,
when it
well,
gets back to our house.
I think we're out of time for
Oh
this
yeah.
session. Um, outside of that, and plus we don't have anything else to talk about. It's spring. What are we doing? We're just
Oh,
complaining that there's ice and snow out.
my wife's flowers are coming up inside in my rec room that I had before last month, which is full of
Yeah,
flowers now.
you used to have a
Yep.
room.
Yeah, he used to have a room. It smells like dirt now. Go in there, just smells. Walk in there, it's just dirt. It's like okay.
Alaskan Spring.
Alaskan Spring, yeah. It's dry dirt, not wet dirt though. There's a difference between dry dirt
Oh,
and wet
okay.
dirt. Okay, there's a big difference. So
It's the Arrakis air freshener. Just
yeah,
dirt.
just dirt. Yeah,
Sandworms.
I could bottle that up probably. Actually, that's what it smells like.
You
Yeah.
know, sometimes like whenever there's a whole lot of snow, I try to trick myself into thinking like it's like white sand. It's it's like it's not really snow, it's sand. I'm like I'm at the beach and there's sand dunes and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
that works for
right.
about 5 seconds and then I get out
So
of
you
the
open
truck
the
and
till
I'm
you open
like,
the door. It's like, oh nope.
I'm like, yeah, that sucks. All right, so from Anchorage, Alaska, I'm Thomas Greenman and you are
I don't know, Jesse. Today,
maybe. We'll
maybe.
see you on the next episode of the Skurla's Wild Alaskan podcast. We'll see you next time.
Ooh.
Wild and mild.